Friday saw the return of Cold Feet for its second or seventh series, depending on the way you want to look at it. ITV are calling it Series 7, so we should as well. You have a bit of perhaps inside knowledge as to why it's on Fridays, because Fridays originally I went, oh, why have they done that? But you think you know, or you think
Well, I don't. I
might know.
don't think I know, but I was chatting to King of TV Boyd Hilton at the W1A screening last week, and I asked him, "Oh, why do you think it's on Friday? Because it seems a bit of an odd place to put it." And he said that a lot more of the sort of elusive 16 to 34 demographic, which I heard a lot about at Edinburgh, are staying in on a Friday night. So it's more of a ploy to try and attract them. Do you think that's the key demographic for Cold Feet? 16 to 34?
I have to say, it was the demographic for it when it started, probably. I don't know who it's for now.
You?
But I think I've said before, my life wouldn't be shattered if it wasn't on. And it is unique. And it is unlike anything we have on current TV. But I'm not sure who it's for. And I'm not sure that any new people will gravitate to it.
Mums.
I don't know.
Mums.
I suppose it's for mums, but do you think those mums will have had to have seen it before to have the...
Yeah, because my mum likes it. She watched it the first time round. Well, I think they were trying to attract younger viewers for having Cal Spellman in it. I think that's what they said last year when I was reading through the press notes, and they were saying, "Oh, do you think would they attract younger viewers?" And they said, "Well, because we've got Cal Spellman in it."
He's not in it enough to.
No.
So Series 7 starts bizarrely with a musical sequence, and a sequence where you think Leanne Best is now in a relationship with James
They're
Nesbitt
still living
Adam.
where they were living before.
You think she's gone into labour, then it goes into a big musical number, and you find out it's done that old Cold Feet thing of, it's turned its things, it's a bit of a... I don't know, is there a word for that? Because we talked before about Ally McBeal, and it's sort of the thing I know they used to do.
Surreal.
Surrealness. Sort of
Surrealism.
A surreal moment.
An interesting idea. Whether it worked is another question, but I liked it in as much as, this is an interesting concept, and it draws you in, and it sort of establishes the themes of, Adam being a bit broody and how he wants the relationship with Tina to progress.
See, my issue was, although as good as Leanne Best is, it was like 2 series last year. They had the first half with his wife from Singapore.
Karen David.
Got rid of her and brought in Leanne Best. As soon as he moved into that flat and they had the old, my landlord's a real pain, and you just knew. But I kind of liked all the Karen David and... who's the Art Malik stuff, which they got rid of really quickly.
Well, look, Art Malik stayed until the end because he was after Karen, wasn't he?
And Pete in the care home looking after James Bolam. That I really enjoyed. Then it lost its way halfway through the series, in my eyes.
Like that last episode where they had the robbery.
The robbery was just ridiculous. I don't know where that came from. When it's good is when they focus on the relationship with the friends. There's just such a chemistry between all of them, but I feel a little bit like I know where this is going. We've got Siobhan Finneran in now as a love interest for Buffer's character.
She's a married woman, though, isn't she?
Yeah,
so he'd
but
be like the other man.
Yeah. Adam is having thoughts about having a child with Leanne Best character Tina. Then we've got Jenny, who is working... I'm not sure where she works. I've never known where she works.
She works in promotions, doesn't she?
That's right, yeah. And then Karen, Hermione Norris, she's got her publishing company off the ground, working alongside the children's former nanny, Ramona, with her first published book from a young author who is sort of getting too big for her boots. And she's running...
Very quickly.
She's running this company from her home, so there's a lot of manic stuff going on. David... Karen's ex-husband is living with Adam and his son Matthew.
Because he had the whole trial last year, didn't he?
Well, he was in prison. Again, a strand of last year I hated. He was in prison or jail.
And now he's sort of doing, the flogging of the mortgages and the life insurance. He's doing the ones where you get a free pen for a consultation and stuff like that. Pete works as a chauffeur now, and Pete puts him in touch with the Siobhan Finneran character, basically saying, this woman here has got a lot of money, she's a kept woman. She's got a lot of friends as well that might all want financial advice. So that's...
And whizzing back to Jenny, she's feeling sort of overlooked by Karen, who has got more of a relationship with Tina now, and she feels pushed out, and that they're more of a duo now than a threesome. There's also Adam getting a new job, and that was done really well.
At W1A, by the sound.
Basically, yes. At Perfect Curve.
Perfect Curve, yeah. With the tree house and the...
Yeah. That was well done. I liked, because all his colleagues are so young, they have him meeting with children initially and then swap back. It's a very easy watch. It's funny. It's enjoyable. You
like the characters.
I really like them. I really care about them. I don't know, though, and this is going to sound awful, whether we're in the right place for it at the moment. I loved the first half of that returning series. The second half was a bit of a mess, in my opinion, and this was really good. And Mike Bullen, the writer, told me that it kicks in properly, the storytelling, in episode 3, so I don't know what happens there. We haven't been privy to those episodes, but
we've heard both from Piers Wenger, who's the head of drama at BBC, and Kevin Ligo, the head of ITV, that they sort of want to get away from all the crime procedurals and things like that and move into these dramas that are a bit more sort of character-based about these sort of lifestyles.
I enjoy it, and I'll always enjoy it, and I will watch them on Friday nights for the next 7 weeks. My concern is that it's just it might finish after this series, it might finish after the next. Will it just go on and become this thing that's on? And that's what
I know what you mean, because it's one of your favourites, and you worry that it's going to be a law of diminishing returns. Because this was sort of an establishing episode where you saw where everyone was. I thought there was, enough story. You're setting up David Strand with Siobhan Finneran and introducing her. You're introducing sort of where Pete and Jenny are now and their sort of varying career roles and things like that. You're establishing Adam's relationship with Tina and where that goes and what he wants from it.
I like Leanne best, but I don't really believe them as a couple.
Oh, why do you prefer Karen David with him?
I think so, yeah, because I think she was different to Rachel and certainly different to Leanne Best.
The Leanne Best character is widowed as well, so that's where their connection is a bit, isn't it?
But I think it's because he was gonna marry Karen David, so that took all that away. Whereas, obviously, we might be leading up to a proposal eventually, or a breakup, or a wedding, or,
Because there was a suggestion as well that he's going to be tempted by this Irish woman at his new workplace as well. There was that sort of suggestion.
The bits I really liked, there were some really clever, funny lines in there that I enjoyed. The cast bounce off each other brilliantly. It whizzes by really quickly. You don't even know you've watched it. It's so quick, and it is believable at times, but I just wonder whether it's going to become one of those things that's on, and whether when it does reach whatever final series it's going to get, it's not going to have the impact that
well, should we just wait and see, Luke? Because I think you're sort of getting ahead of yourself a bit.
So Cold Feet, Friday nights, 9 o'clock. If I've got this podcast up when I want it up, it is on today, Friday, 9 o'clock ITV, for its 7th series. Last year we had 8 episodes. This year we're getting 7. And as Mike Bullen told me via Twitter, episode 3 is where the story really takes hold. I suppose my issue is I don't know whether it can have the impact the original series had. And whether
but that was on you personally, wasn't it? I don't know if as many people... I suppose it was that series was of its time.
Yeah.
Whereas this is more what happens when the people who were sort of in their 20s at the turn of the millennium are now 20 years older, sort of thing. That's what they're saying, and the impact of that.